hash brown?
Yes, sir.
They're $5. Yeah.
And for your toast?
Sweet toast.
Sweet toast?
Like, can I get like some kids pancakes on the stuff? It's like one big one will work.
Alright. Is that everything for you?
Then I just need 3 drinks.
3 drinks?
2 drinks.
2 drinks.
Thanks, bud.
Alright, 1603 all together. A little tricky. There you go.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you, Ken. Alright, thank you, brother.
Have a
See you
good
up
one,
for
Kate.
your early.
What?
So,
Hey, how you doing?
oh great. I want 1 pancake and I want coffee.
Alright. $3.52 altogether. 20? Alright, here's 4. 5, 10, 15, and 20.
Thank you.
50 top story. Thank you much. We got some great photos. I'm gonna give you this too just because I'm running. I'm kind of rusty, you know what I mean?
Okay. That's fine.
Are you sitting with them probably? Just give you the same number that way, it's easy. What we have?
I'm gonna have a senior ham, thin wheat toast, eggs, sunny side up.
Alright, so the senior special?
Yep.
Hey, do you want that?
Okay, you want them up?
Huh?
Oh, okay.
Sunny side up.
Play side up. Alright.
Ham. Thin wheat toast.
Toast. Alright, is that everything for you? Want to drink it all?
You get a coffee with it.
Alright, sounds good. There you go. 480. Okay.
I do something wrong.
What's that?
If I do something wrong, it's 547 all the time. I can live 40. We're only talking about 40. We're only talking about 40 cents, but
So,
like I come out almost every day. It's 527 or something.
okay, well if anything's withdrawn, let me know. We'll get you straightened out. Here's your receipt for you. He knows what you need.
She knows.
He knows how it goes.
She knows.
Alright, thank you, man.
She can cook breakfast for me at home if she wanted to. Yeah, I mean, she knows.
Will you tell them my omelet? I don't want any mushrooms.
Your omelet?
Yeah.
You can get
Oh, no. Never mind.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm tripping.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Right.
I didn't get an omelet. No, you're right. I didn't get an omelet.
I'm just checking back. I have stuff I can go pay for and come back.
Okay.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Alright, perfect. Get it back up. Sorry, can you tell me where you ordered on
I just,
just want to make sure that I understand.
So-
I don't trust you. I mean, I know you.
so I just went to the Hy-Vee Market Grove, just the Hy-Vee Market
Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine. Streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Hy-Vee Today show. This is Tony Tone. I feel like Mr. Rogers, except I'm not putting on my shoes. I'm putting my straw in my Starbucks drink, neighbor. I was running a little late this morning, so much so that I didn't even put the breathable sleeves over my forearms to hide my tattoos, but I think that's going to be okay. So it's good to be with you. My kids are very frustrated with the fact that it's still raining. So they're ready for it to stop raining, and the first thing we'll do on this show is take a look at the Lutheran Living Senior Campus weather forecast. And I tried to tell them, because they're not going to check the weather, they're kids. I tried to tell them, like, today's the last day it's going to rain, it's going to be beautiful, and I lied to them, all right? Part of being a parent is lying to your kids a little bit. So today, look at the high, 59 degrees. That's it. It was in the 90s just a couple of days ago, right? So breezy with periods of rain, 59. Tonight, I can tell you that it's going to be cold. Dare I say cold, 51 the low. Tomorrow, excuse me, I'm getting choked up. Tomorrow, as you can see on the screen, cloudy, little rain and a high of 61. And then it will warm up a little bit by Saturday, but there's still rain in the forecast. So my kids are going to call me out on it. I know they are. They're going to be like, you lied, Papa. And I'm going to be like, why are you calling me Papa? And they're going to be like, deal with it. So I did see something. It seems like Muscatine County, like almost 3 inches of rain since Sunday. That was the stat that our friend Paul Brooks, who is a trained weather spotter, he had shared that on Facebook. 2.75 inches of rain. So I hope that your basements are staying dry and that you have an umbrella. Again, I did not bring an umbrella with me to work, but that's my cross to bear. The last thing I'll mention before we get to our guest this morning, today is Wellness Wednesday, so everything at the store in the health market is 10% off. All organic produce is 10% off, and health and beauty care products would be 10% off today on Wellness Wednesday. Okay, so with that being said, apologize for not that you know that I'm running late. For people that watch this on cable, they're like, what do you mean? The show started at 7:30 at 10:30. You're not late, you're there. I apologize for that. So let's get to our guest, who Jenny Olson was here 2 years ago. I can't remember. I think the last time you were here, you had a different last name.
I did.
So
I got
congratulations
married.
on getting married. It's so good to see you. And you're with Unity Point Health. Your title is DNP, which stands for, don't correct me because I think I got it, Director of Nurse Practicing?
Doctor of Nurse
See, Doctor of Nurse Practicing? Practitioner. I was close. DNP. I just like DNP. That's kind of like you feel when you have that on the name tag. You're like, I know what's going on because I got the DNP. So you got married. You're still taking care of people in town.
Yep.
And
0 to 18.
0 to 18. So, and this is one of the questions I want to ask. So, maybe before we get to, are you taking new patients? You're taking care of babies to folks up until they're 18. How long have you been doing that, and how long have you been with Unity Point Health in Muscatine?
Actually, it's been a little over 3 years in July,
Awesome.
so that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to stay here till I retire. We're
Wow.
always taking new patients,
Yeah.
and actually we have another new provider here too. When I was getting married, we got to hire somebody new around the same time, so
Okay.
I was excited when I was going to have some time off to somebody to cover my patients too. And then we still have our lovely, beloved Dr. Galoso here with us too. So there's 3 of us
That's
in the peds
fantastic.
department.
Yeah, so it's a big deal when you have kids and you're trying to look for care. And I guess the thing for me,
Absolutely.
like all 3 of my kids were born in town at the hospital, which was great. And Jenny, I never want to think about, and this is just my opinion, of course, but when it comes to like if kid's not feeling well, or if we need to go to express care, I like that we have Unity Point Health here so that I don't have to like pack the car and drive to Iowa City or the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
So I know that that's definitely an amenity. And for Muscatine, I mean, being a town of 25,000 people, 40,000-ish in the county, it's kind of rare to have Unity Point Health made such a significant investment.
Yeah.
And I just hope that people will shop local when it comes to
Yeah.
healthcare, you know?
I'll speak on that for a little bit
Yeah.
too. I came from the University of Iowa, and all of my positions I was there for 10 years, and I moved here obviously for my significant other. And I feel like Muscatine is a fantastic community. So whether you have healthy kids, you have one kid, you have 5 kids, 10 kids, families are very, very unique and special in all their different ways. So just even for wellness visits to come local in between while parents are working, or when your kid is sick, to know exactly who to contact, utilize my chart. You don't actually always have to go into the office anymore. And for every little question, if you know the expert, you've built that relationship so that when something big, bad, and ugly does come up, you know exactly who to contact and you have that trusting relationship. That is very, very important. And actually, that was kind of my goal as far as helping people find that relationship and feeling comfortable and confident and being able to stay local no matter what it is. And so I think I've done a good job here in town. I wish I had a couple people to ask, but yeah.
Well, just your luck, Jenny. We have
yes.
we have patients. No, we're not going to bring people on to speak to that. But I love that you said you want to retire here, and you got here, you jumped in with both feet, and that's how you kind of have to do it in a job like you have, because you're seeing people at their best, like, hey, new baby, and then sometimes it's like, I don't know what's going on. And now certainly navigating a pandemic. So how has that changed with respects to, because I imagine you were busy with well checks, getting kids ready for back to school. Procedurally, I mean, are you having to do like, you know, where you call when you get there and then people come in, or how has that changed?
We're still doing that actually. So
good.
For a little bit of time, we were a little bit down on numbers, but we were offering different types of care. So via telehealth, we have a new app platform, Doximity, that we would use, and it's kind of like FaceTime that we would see the patients. And then if we felt like they still needed to be seen, we would help them get an appointment and tell them where to go, such as Northport, to try to keep the healthy kids separated, just so that we're doing the best to keep our staff safe, as well as all the patients. And then that provides a little peace of mind too when moms are bringing their newborns, preemie babies, all of those kinds of things into the clinic. So we're working you in whatever way possible. I would say back to school, obviously lots of well checks, and there are still obviously a lot of different acute visits for many different reasons, but we're doing our best and we're pretty busy every day. Yeah.
Have you seen, and I don't know how much of this you can answer, but have you seen an increase with school returning in your strep throats? Or, because I feel like when school starts with my kids, it's inevitable within the first month, somebody's going to get like runny nose. And these are not, I'm not saying my kids have COVID-19, I'm just saying like non-pandemic, school starts, they're back to being around kids, and it just kind of ping pongs around. But I feel like we've, you know, I could almost tell you like, oh, he's probably got strep throat. He's allergic to amoxicillin, so I know what I need to give my 5-year-old. But has that flared up with school returning? Or?
So I would actually say probably a week or two before school started, I felt like there was a lot more strep throat. And it's funny, as people are supposedly not going out and about as much. But I specifically remember even last year when school started, typically you wait for a couple of weeks into school and then everybody is starting with respiratory illnesses, strep throat. But last year and this year, kind of right off the bat. So obviously right now in school, which is a great place for kids to learn, it's important. Virtual learning is great too. But whether they have a cough, cold, sniffle, you know, teasing out, is it allergies? Is it strep throat? Is it another viral illness? What is the rash? And in kids, you know, symptoms can be a little different than adults, such as sometimes when you have belly pain, that can be the only sign of strep throat. Sometimes that's also related to anxiety with going back to school. So we're here to help you kind of differentiate that. And we actually work very closely with the nurses at the schools too. So between them calling us and a lot of times the parents, you know, so that we can try to make sure that it's safe for them to go back to school and decide if they need to be seen. But at the same time, when possible, not having to quarantine for 10 days related to COVID at this time.
On Facebook, Michelle says, I think it's Michelle Teal says, hi Jenny, you are amazing.
Yes.
And then Eden says, Jenny, woohoo. So you have some love coming in on Facebook. This pandemic, I mean, you take care of patients every day from birth to 18 years old. You've probably seen a lot. I mean, has this been challenging, or do you feel like, because it seems like Unity Point Health had to adapt really quickly, like a lot of different businesses did, but certainly in the healthcare business, I mean, things change all the time. There's continuous education. Do you feel like your team was prepared for this? And then are you like me where I'm just like, let's get this over with? Because
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many smart people in our country, in the world, that are working on a vaccine, and I hope that this is a thing of the past in a year or two. But talk about your team having to kind of, adapt how you provide care for people, because it had to be tough because I know I've been there with 3 kids. When you have that newborn baby, you're at the doctor a lot.
Yeah.
And you feel like, am I doing the right thing? Especially with the first kid, you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. They're letting me leave this hospital with this little person that looks like me. Is there a manual? That's how I felt. I was like, I don't know what to do. But we had great, my kids have seen Cindy Burr forever, and, had great support in town. But so talk about that, how quickly things had to change for you guys.
As far as the transition, every day was kind of a new day, especially when you think about back to mid-March. Again, the team is huge at Unity Point. We have like the best team, I would say, specifically in the peds department. But from checking in the process, Michelle that said hello there, a PSR, they are very, very good. So we have like a virtual waiting room. They call the patients. They stay in the parking lot. Nobody's in the waiting room anymore. We bring them back as soon as they're ready, and we try to see them as fast as possible so they don't have to interact with other patients and parents. And then they're on their way out. We have a screening process at the front door with many other businesses are doing. So that's kind of all been that. It's been exciting that we were able to roll out virtual health in a pretty fast way too. Otherwise, sometimes I felt like that would have taken months or even years. So due to COVID, we got to roll that out. And I think, the healthcare system is always changing. And as far as when possible, I think a lot of patients and parents really like that. And so I think moving forward, that's going to be a big part, especially how Unity Point will provide care. Even with elderly patients, I think that's really helpful. And surprisingly enough, a lot of people are already using their smartphones. So that's been really great. We have plenty of meetings, so no matter where you're working, and that's what we say, even in the school setting, things are changing, and parents know that as well as patients. And so we're just doing our best, and we're all learning together. Nobody has the right answer. And at first with COVID, I know I would go home and my husband and I would always talk about it. We kind of felt like, or at least I did, a hamster running on a wheel. You could think about it, and try to plan and make the best plan, but then the next day it would change anyways.
Yep, and that's just it. Like, my brother-in-law had it in late April, April, early May. 29, had a fever for like 11 days, and none of us got it, which was amazing. So I know that it's a thing, and it's interesting to hear the technology side of healthcare and how much, because we've used, and I don't know, I guess we haven't called My Nurse in a while, but we've used that before where it's the middle of the night and you're like, I don't know what's going on. It can really, if anything, it'll potentially save you that trip to the ER, which is good. And I'm not saying don't go to the ER. I'm saying if there's layers in place that can kind of help you, well, maybe, my almost 2-year-old just needs Tylenol, and it's she'll be okay until she could see her PCP the next day. But that's what I like about Unity Point Health, is that investment in the tech. Did you think 10 years ago that technology would play such an important role? Because certainly you want to see people, you're a people person, but if you can use the tech to your advantage and help your patients at the same time.
So obviously you get in the field, you want to help as many patients as possible, and just providing that little peace of mind to a lot of patients and parents. So it is kind of nice. There's multiple layers. My chart is one thing that is really, really great. You can actually email the provider yourself and hear back, and you actually don't even have to pay for a visit in that sense. With my chart too, you can look at all the previous results and visits and all the education. And I think one thing that's really important about each primary care visit is there's so much education that goes into it. Specifically, one thing that I love to do for my younger kids at every visit, since a lot of the medications such as Tylenol or Motrin are weight-based, and we know with many of the acute illnesses such as bronchiolitis or RSV that will be coming up, a lot of it is comfort. And so if you know the right dose to be giving for Motrin or Tylenol, so you can keep the fever down, so that their throat doesn't hurt, so that they can keep hydrated, you can actually prevent a visit to the ER in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. and possibly even stay out of the doctor's office with all the other sick kids, etc. So education is huge also in pediatrics.
I have to tell you, it was January, pre-pandemic, had my daughter at Express Care, and they were like, she's got RSV. And I said, cool, nebulizer, and they said, been shown not to be as effective.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
So I left with a baby girl that was not feeling well.
Yeah.
Maybe a day later, she was in the ER, influenza B. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is this... Okay, so I remember talking, it was late at night, talking to the ER doctor. Very nice guy. Kind of like laid back bedside manner. I'm like, so what can you do for influenza B? Well, I can't do anything. And I was like, give me something. Do you experience that? And it's you just want your kid to be better, to feel better. But sometimes and I don't know because I'm not in the business, but 6 years ago, when my oldest had RSV, he was in the high chair and we were trying to get the nebulizer thing. And, so it's interesting how that's changed. And as a parent, you just kind of want to be told, like, just give them one drop of this and they'll be better. Sometimes it's not as easy as that. But yeah, she had like the double whammy. And then we were thinking like, well, was it COVID? Before we knew what COVID was? I don't know. Yeah. But is that challenging in your role when little person isn't feeling well or younger person isn't feeling well? And it's just that combo, of Tylenol and ibuprofen that's going to help them staying hydrated. I mean, sometimes that's a hard thing for a parent to hear because we're just like, give us the script. You know, give me the amoxicillin for everything, which I know doesn't fix everything. But how do you handle that when that comes up?
Absolutely. Well, I think sometimes, when I was in the inpatient side of things, I took care of kids with all ages of all different illnesses too. So my goal is to keep kids out of the hospital and educate the parents. I believe everybody's an expert in a different field. So my job is to share my knowledge and expertise with the parents. And a lot of times, it is hard with influenza or RSV, then you can have co-infections. So once you feel that they need to be seen, the provider will obviously do their best to examine their kid, give you their best input as far as the treatment plan. Sometimes this does include medications. We actually also, sometimes there's different options too, watchful waiting, and a good provider at least will share that plan with the family to have shared decision making too, but we'll definitely steer you in the best way. And one thing I will say about being in Muscatine at Unity Point, our goal too is so that once you're there, you can have a follow-up phone call too. So especially in pediatrics, when you have the tiny airways, you might be breathing fine in 1 hour, and 5 hours later, you might be retracting and nasal flaring or something. So that way you know which number to call back. And a lot of times we do a great job returning phone calls, sometimes even multiple times in a day, just to get over the first really, really scary 24 to 48 hours, similar to if a child has croup or something like that. But
it's terrible.
Yeah, so which at that point sometimes too we'll give medication, a steroid for that. But we're here, and again, that goes back to finding that trusting relationship and that education about, keeping the nose clear, suctioning, do we have a bulb suction at home, a nose Frida, the Tylenol or Motrin, instead of doing formula, can we do more breast milk, or instead of milk in general, can we do more Pedialyte? There's lots and lots of tips and tricks, and that's what's really exciting is that you don't always need a big bad medication. It doesn't always have to be an expensive treatment plan either, but that's what makes pediatrics really fun, and I enjoy that. And actually providing the best care for the least price and trying to minimize actually how many visits. I feel like other times you can go places, and I've seen kids all the time that maybe they popped in and out in 2 ERs and maybe 1 urgent care over the weekend or something like that, and then they come to my clinic and I help them resolve what's going on. So that's really great too.
I grabbed my phone because lot of love coming in for you. Shelby Downey says, we love Jenny, she's the best, from the Peds fam. Erica says, go Jenny, she's the absolute best. Christy says, awesome, Dr. Love Jenny. I don't know if that's your nickname, Dr. Love. And then Katharina says, love our Jenny. So obviously you're doing a good job, and it is, it has to be fascinating because, Jenny, you'll see people with their kids when they're newborns, and then they'll continue to grow up. And it'll get to the point, I joke about this, but I remember distinctively when I was 14 or 15, and I told my mom, I'm like, you don't have to come in for this appointment. And she was so mad, sad. And now as a parent with my oldest being 8, like I know that's just a few years away before he's like, don't worry about it. But that's where, growing up, I had the same doctor from when I was born until I was 18. And it was a great feeling because that consistency was there, and that you could trust in that person, and that's such a big deal. September, and if I don't mention this, Angie Copy's going to yell at me. September is National Baby Safety Month, and I feel like as a parent with 3 kids, my daughter will be 2 October 2nd. There's a lot of things that maybe new parents don't it's a lot of information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I mean, you have to worry about, like, you bring this new baby home, and it takes every, inch of your being to not, like, go crazy with stuffed animals and stuff in the crib. So where do you want to start with baby safety? Because I've obviously had some different experiences, but maybe people at home didn't know that September is Baby Safety Month. Is that something that you go over with those new parents, first-time parents?
Yes, absolutely. So obviously, when you're pregnant, you plan a lot, and a lot of times parents will come up with this perfect plan as far as the birth plan and everything like that. And as you know, whether you have 1 or 10 kids and you had that plan or you didn't, it doesn't always go that way. So every day is a new day, and once you get discharged, things change too. It's kind of like if you're really into like breastfeeding, and it's not going so good, and with a lot of weight loss, that's part of baby safety too, is making sure, some mom's milk doesn't come in right away, so we have to do a little supplementation, and we're here to guide you on that way, in that sense too. And as far as baby safety, the hospital stay isn't very long. So like Tony said, all of a sudden you had the baby, you just possibly had a C-section surgery, and then you're walking out with this new baby, and maybe you have other children at home and you're very busy, and maybe you don't have grandparent support or anybody else. But we're here because we'll always see your baby in a couple of days after it's born and you're back home. And the biggest thing is talking about crib safety to prevent sudden infant death syndrome. Car seat safety is also huge, and again, hydration, even just making sure about the feeding schedule. If you ask a lot of moms and even dads, the feeding can be very stressful too at first, finding the right formula so that they're not spitting up, with the breast milk, again, the milk coming in, and that's really a big deal. And then obviously the first 2 months of life to make sure that there's no infections after the baby's being born. So you need to know what to look for a fever, what would be increased work of breathing for a child, what color of skin is normal, and then even a temperature of the baby, and how to warm the milk and how to give the perfect bath, and is the belly button infected?
Oh my God,
the different
I forgot about the belly button.
the different colors of stools and all of those kinds of things.
It's so I forgot about the belly, the umbilical cord. That's a fun thing.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, wait a minute. The umbilical cord piece was there yesterday, and now it's gone. Yeah, no, it's.
The smell of it too gets parents. So.
Oh my God.
And
that is like, that's so, I can't handle that. Like, it's when people say things like that, and then you can instantly remember the smell.
But that's what I'm here for. So all of those good things.
Jenny, first question: does this umbilical cord smell normal? I mean, but there's so many things that happen when you have that first kid. But even to your point, I love what you said. If it's a newborn and you got a busy household. And I think that people sometimes, not that they mislead us, but certainly people will say, oh, well, the more kids you have, it gets easier.
No.
I'm here to tell you that's not the truth, okay? Each kid is a challenge. I think about my grandma that had 8 kids, 2 sets of twins. I don't know how they did it back in the day. We have 3 that are 8, 5, and almost 2, and there's good days, there's rough days. We kind of just try to get in the middle. I woke up this morning, and I didn't even know my 5-year-old had, climbed into part of the bed. I was out cold all night. My wife gave me a look like maybe she didn't sleep that well. So it's just that balance, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you feel like you're not doing the right thing. But I would say 9 times out of 10, parents are doing a good job.
Yes.
But it is so important to have a strong support system like folks like Jenny at Unity Point Health that can say, hey, we're going to make sure that when it comes to seeing them on an annual basis, because I can't imagine, because it was just a part of life growing up, going to see the doctor, going to the dentist. I have no fear. I was the kid that I liked going to the dentist growing up.
Yeah,
I also felt like I was the only kid in 5th grade that didn't have braces, but I was okay with that. Just a little slight overbite, but everybody had braces going into 5th grade. But what I'm getting at is you start out, and yes, when you have a newborn, it seems like people are in your office a lot, but there's a lot that goes along with that. And it sucks watching, pardon my French, it's terrible watching your kid get shots. But that's important, right? Because you don't want a little person that doesn't have a complex immune system like we do to get, sick with something that we could handle without any problems. But and that has to be part of it too. I mean, I imagine for patients with kids, they might want to talk about maybe stretching out vaccines. So are those conversations that you're okay with? I mean, obviously it's
Yeah.
important to get things done in a time frame, certainly as you look at like preschool, but I imagine that comes up quite a bit.
Yeah. I'd like to expand, yes. So I would
Yeah.
say yes, parents obviously know their kids best. So what makes my job really easy is I only see the kid for a very short amount of time, as long as I wish. As far as the parents, though, obviously they know their kids the best, so we always get a lot of information from them. What's going on, what's okay, what's abnormal. As far as when they come in, yes, when we're babies, lots of little appointments, but so much changes. Even at first, back to newborns, thinking about moms and even dads with postpartum depression. Sometimes, we have this baby and we forget about the parent. And so no matter how perfect the baby is, if the mom truly has postpartum depression, or even the dad, and then maybe they're not able to take care of the baby as well as they were hoping, or their other children at home, that's something that in pediatrics we do too. We remind moms that it's okay, that you need to try to get a little bit of sleep, and mental health is huge. Each visit, Tony brought up, obviously, is the vaccines. Vaccines are very, very important, especially in pediatrics, because our goal is to keep the kids healthy. The only way we know exactly how to best do what the kid needs is based on the research. So that's pretty exciting, and obviously vaccines have been studied by many, many organizations with the schedule and when they should get them. And what's really cool, is a lot of times if we can keep the kids on schedule, we can keep them very healthy and even prevent ear infections. So even when Tony was talking about antibiotics, sometimes now antibiotics, what we're prescribing for different infections, are changing because the vaccines, the bacteria is changing thanks to our vaccines. So when those have been studied for a really, really long time, any provider should be definitely very comfortable and confident in talking with parents to make sure that we're all on the same page, to know why it's so important, that they are very safe, those kinds of conversations.
The last thing we can talk about is just how it feels for you with the resources at hand, and Unity Point Health does a good job with coordinated care. The analogy I always use is like an umbrella that says Unity Point Health and everything that falls under it. So an example would be, all three of my kids, earache. Here's, the conversation about getting tubes put in, get it done in town. ENTs, Dr. Dawson and the crew they're fantastic.
Yeah.
In your role, obviously you have to work well with everybody within the organization, but it has to be nice to know that if someone needs, services from ENT or another specialist, that you can say, okay, here's the referral, go talk to so-and-so, they're going to get you taken care of. It's in town. You're not going out of town for it. I mean, I imagine that's not, maybe it's not fun. Like the first kid that got ear tubes, it's a big deal. And I'll be honest, by the time my daughter was ready, I'm like, all right, see you later, Doug. You keep her back there for a little bit longer, and because it's a quick procedure, you don't even have time to like go get a drink. You come back and they're like, we've been waiting for you. But that network locally is strong, and maybe it happens more than I realize, but that's got to make you feel good. And just looking at all the services on the website. So just talk about that, the coordinated care that you're able to provide. Yeah,
I think obviously that was a huge passion of mine, as far as the healthcare system can be very, very scary when you're healthy. So obviously if you're sick and you have a lot of chronic illnesses, it's very, very complex. So when you think about everything, the first place, is your PCP. So again, finding that PCP that you feel like you have a good fit with. And then whether it's, multiple ear infections, we're there to guide you about how many you can have in a specific time, and maybe are you a good candidate or should we continue waiting, pros and cons. No matter what the concern is, as far as even development and children, that is huge at all those appointments. So at first, when you're seeing the babies, you get through that and most of the vaccines, but then as the kids are getting older, more toward school age, sometimes we'll have some concerns that parents will bring up about development. And finding those slight delays at the youngest age possible is very, very important, so that we can put those right services in place. For instance, do we need occupational therapy, physical therapy, those kinds of things, as well as mental health, again, I brought up. So looking for anxiety, ADHD, something wrong actually as far as a child had seizures, diabetes, and so as Tony said, there's a lot of great specialties and referrals we can do here in town. And part of my job in primary care, which is really exciting too, is we can actually manage a lot of those chronic conditions really, really well. And then we actually work with the specialist here in Iowa City, Quad Cities, Mayo Clinic, Shriners, all over, and we actually review the notes. So, and I always say a good PCP is one that will actually review every child's urgent care visit, ER visit. So when that family calls, we don't do any repeat testing, we know exactly what was going on. And that way we can provide the best care possible. Same thing with therapies too. So again, everybody is all involved. It takes one huge team to keep the kids very healthy and safe. But coordinating those services is really huge. And one big thing, say autism spectrum disorder, a lot of people are learning a lot more about that. But if you get a diagnosis like that, that is very, very, very scary. And I've had some really great friends that are strong advocates after they've had children diagnosed, and at first maybe, the child was nonverbal, would not eat, those kinds of things. So linking up with the right resources and having all of those appointments and knowing how to follow that roadmap is really, really big. And again, the parents would have no idea how to do that, and we're there to kind of help point them in the direction step by step. And that follow-up appointment piece is huge, because if we just give them the list of 20 things to do, sometimes only 2 of those get done. So we're there to kind of keep chipping away at the block one thing at a time, maybe starting with one thing, and depending on how that goes, adding the next and going from there.
It's more than a job, it's a lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't get into this field if you weren't going to be committed to taking care of people. And I love everything you said, and it's true, and I know that you're going to continue to do great work. Before we let you go, and you probably have patients coming up, I want to see if you'll try the Toyota Muscatine What's in the Box. Would you? Do you have any idea what this is?
No.
Okay, so let me ask first. Chris, is it alive?
What's the options?
Okay,
It
so
could be alive.
what you're going to do is, Jenny, you're going to stick your hands in the box, and then you're going to push so you're going to not look at the screen to see what it is. You're going to try and guess. So you're going to put your hands in, push the doors open, perfect. So we'll be able to see what you're trying to guess. And then, this is great. All right, so this would be right up. Don't look at the screen. Did you look?
I saw, there's a plastic box of some sort.
That's good. Okay. So this is very appropriate. It's something that was hard to find a couple months ago, but we definitely have them in stock. And, an in-law of yours, sister-in-law, might have these in her part of the store here. What do you think it is?
Well, at first I was going to say it was a small kitchen scissors, actually. From getting married, actually, I got a few.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This would be more, your nursing staff would utilize this. Maybe it would go here when people come in. Are you opening it up right now? Oh my gosh, you might have to buy it then.
Cardboard and
so
plastic.
Maybe it would go here or here.
All right,
or here.
a thermometer.
Yes, you nailed
Yeah.
it. Perfect. Jenny's opening it up.
Yeah. That's exciting. Obviously, a few months ago, it was very difficult to find these around. Very important.
And now we've got look, I got 10 different kinds of them.
Okay, very
right
cool.
There. That's great. Thank you for being here. I think I sold the thermometer. Just put it on Nicole's tab. It's fine. Have a good rest of your day.
Yes, thank you
for
very much.
taking care of people, and especially the littlest of the people.
Absolutely.
It's wild to see how quickly kids grow, and it's a good peace of mind for people to have someone like yourself in town with no intentions on going anywhere, which is awesome. We're holding you to it. She said she wants to retire here. Because I said that too, and people look at me like I'm lying, and I've been here 8 years. I'm not going anywhere, right? And Jenny's in it to win it too, right?
Yep.
All right. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you very
so much.
She nailed the thermometer. That was awesome. All right. CVI Bank and Trust ILCAM. Let's go there. And yes, we've got thermometers. Should you need them here at the store, we have them in stock. We didn't for a while during the height of the pandemic, but we've got you taken care of. This one is kind of schmancy. This is like a digital thermometer. It's nice, like wrapped in packaging in there. The plastic looks good. It's from iGuard. 60-second digital thermometer. So that's great. So we have those near the pharmacy. All right. Styling and profiling. It's my new wallet, everybody. What's that? I only carry hundreds. I'm sorry. Let me grab. That goes down pretty deep, by the way. Not with big hands, but all right. Michelle says we'll glue her down. I think she's talking about the thermometer. Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Or like I said, we'll put it on Nicole's tab. So my pharmacy manager, Nicole Olson Duelmeyer, her brother, Nate, is married to Jenny. So there's the connection, right? Nate's, Olson Family Dentistry. So you got a dentist and a doctor. That's pretty cool. Right? Smart people. And then you got me, not a doctor. I went to college for 4.5 years. You would think that extra semester at St. Ambrose would have afforded me a PhD, but it didn't happen. So today, National Teddy Bear Day, so that's cool. It is National Wiener Schnitzel Day. Where's the Wiener Schnitzel? Brad, where's the Wiener Schnitzel? I mean, listen, what does a guy have to do to get some... That's Wiener Schnitzel? That's what it is? Looks like a calzone. What is that? Why does that... What is it? Fried veal? That's Wiener Schnitzel, huh? I don't know why I was thinking it was a sausage. Chris took the word. Chris, we're on the same page. Yeah, that's what I thought too. We were way off. Oh, look at that. How to make the perfect Wiener Schnitzel. Nice. All right. Well, maybe let's read it. Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I guess I've never had the authentic one. So if you're going to celebrate National Wiener Schnitzel Day, which is also fun to say, you can do it. There you go. There's a little step-by-step recipe. The Wiener Schnitzel is a thin, breaded, pan-fried veal cutlet. Okay. Nice. So, Brad, you were right. Brad's got a diverse palate over there. Brad, you making Wiener Schnitzel at the house or what? You traveling abroad for some Wiener Schnitzel? Maybe some Spam. Ooh. I don't think I've had Spam. Have I? Spam in a can, everybody. I don't know if I have. You know, yesterday we talked to Shane Orr from the United Way, and he posted a video on YouTube of trying Spam for the first time, and he kind of cut it and pan-fried it, and it, you know, I don't know. Just thinking about it makes me a little, It's kind of like Brussels sprouts. Now listen, you want to hear a funny story about Brussels sprouts? So my birthday was Saturday, and my wife and I went out to dinner at Maxwell's inside the Merrill, downtown Muscatine. Now I think Ryan Cause is watching, who is one of the fabulous chefs at Maxwell's inside the Merrill. Now listen, as God is my witness, I ordered the short ribs, and I asked for a side. Listen, I asked for a side of asparagus. I got the short ribs, and I got a side of Brussels sprouts. And I thought these people at Maxwell's are messing with me. So guess what I did? I ate every darn Brussels sprout, and they were glorious. But I think that our wonderful waitress, Candy was her name. She was great. I think Candy was in cahoots with Chef Ryan and Chef Tess, and I don't even think Tess was there. Maybe Tess was upstairs. Look at those Brussels sprouts. Why do they have to call it shaved raw Brussels sprouts? Anyways, the ones at Maxwell's inside the Merrill were great. You know why? Because they didn't taste like Brussels sprouts. They were like charred. They had like whatever, little cheese on it. I'm not doing it justice, but as God is my witness, here came a thing of Brussels sprouts. And when she sat it down, I looked at my wife and I was like, they did it on purpose. But guess what? They were great. And I would get them again. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It was delicious. Who knew? Something about the raw Brussels sprouts, though, I'm out. Oh, come on. Ugh. And again, my neighbor, Lorna and Jim Haskin, they're growing Brussels sprouts in the garden that's on my property. So I'm contributing to Brussels sprouts. Unknowingly. Didn't know what the plant was. Thought it was kind of weird looking. I got kale. There's tomatoes, sunflowers. There's this. There's that. I'm like, what's that? Lorna's like, oh, that's how Brussels sprouts grow. And I was like, we're moving immediately. We're moving out. That's one of the things. You know how sometimes like you get deer in your yard or rabbits that get in your garden. I think a rabbit and a deer would look at Brussels sprouts and be like, I'm good. You have it. I think, as a matter of fact, yesterday there was a rabbit looking at the Brussels sprouts and it was doing this move. I'm like, even the rabbit won't eat it. Same rabbit. The rabbit was like, it was hurling. There's also a fence around the garden. Anyways, we're losing viewers, me talking about Brussels sprouts. People are bailing left and right. Today is also National Care Bear Share Your Care Day. So did I have a Care Bear back in the day? I did. Did I watch Care Bears growing up? You're darn tootin'. And there might have been Care Bear movies. There were Care Bear TV shows, right? They would do the thing, the Care Bear stare, and then they'd shoot a superpower out of their stomach. This is all very strange. There they are right there. Thank you, Chad. Now I don't sound like a weirdo. There's the Care Bears. Look at Look at the grumpy one. Oh, that kind of looks like my 5-year-old Ted right there. Look at that. That was Ted going to school this morning. He was a grumpy Care Bear. Holy smokes, Care Bears. That was the whole thing. That could be one of those things if you held on to the originals, they might be worth money. And there's a guy dressed as a Care Bear. That's not weird at all. $49.99 could be your costume before they cancel Halloween. Hashtag cancel culture. Get your Care Bear costume. All right. And then just, again, for the National Teddy Bear, we've got some fun little guys right down here that can brighten your day, from Paw Patrol to Cubs and Cardinals and what is this? A little Free Willy action right there. Right? Check that out. And then you got Snoopy. You got Halloween Snoopy. They really went all out. Oh, we know it's you, Snoopy. You're not fooling anybody. And then speaking of Halloween, I'm going to do this move right here. Watch this. Come back to me. Come back to me. Here's how we're going to clear this table. Ta-da! Speaking of Halloween, if you're looking for ways to jazz up the house, and you should, because even if they say you can't trick or treat, which I don't know how people are going to handle it, you can still make your house look good. I have so many. What is this? A posable spider. Oh, that's cool. I have so many Halloween inflatables in my garage. Our house is going to be, well, my power bill is going to be through the roof, but that's okay. And then these are some hairy Velcro spiders. Nice. How do you like your spiders? Hairy, of course. You see a spider that big, you got to just get a blowtorch. And I know what people are saying, leave the spiders alone. They're eating all the bugs. This kind of spider, this is going to eat my 5-year-old. Like, Ted is going to be in a web. Help me. Well, let me think about it. So these are all in aisle 6 here at the store if you're looking for ways to spruce up the outside of your house. And then, of course, because it's in the forecast for a couple of days, we've certainly got ways to keep you dry. I'm not going to open an umbrella indoors because I don't want bad luck, but I will show you that we've got a couple umbrella options. And then this is the very sleek, smaller one. Stephanie on Facebook says, I made Kung Pao Brussels sprouts for dinner last night. It was so good. Thank you for not sharing. I'm sure it was fine, Stephanie. You're Kung Pao Brussels sprouts. Were they all out of chicken or what? What's on the menu today? That's like an episode of Iron Chef. Welcome to Iron Chef. Today's secret ingredient, Brussels sprouts. So Kung Pao Brussels sprouts. Wow. I think the thing is, if you jazz it up enough, season it, whatever, people are all in. What if you put a little bit of hand sanitizer on a Brussels sprout? Would that help? Things are different during the pandemic. I've got Hawkeye hand sanitizer. This is the one that goes on your keychain. This is awesome. So there you go. I know that there's no Hawkeye football, but Hawkeye hand sanitizer, if you'll have it. Okay. We got some fun stuff behind me. So let's just pan across. Let's pan across the bar, and then we'll talk about maybe the truckload liquor sale. So let's start with some decorations. Aisle 6 for all of these, Chris, right? Yep. So there you go. Pick your own pumpkin patch. That's a cute sign. You got a little Hy-Vee Halloween bag. You've got the world's wartiest pumpkin. And look at that thing. But some people love pumpkins like that, right? That's the only kind of pumpkin they'll buy. You could have the 25-pound pumpkin, but you get something like that, and people are like, I got to have that. All right, so then next to that, we've got a couple products for... Is that Busch Light apple? Oh, my. Wow, I didn't even realize that. Wow, so look at that. That is like the hottest commodity in town. I guarantee you, did those come in today? There were like 10 or 12 total. By the end of this show, that'll probably be the only one. I'll make you a good deal. Normally $24.99. I'll sell it to you for $50. Okay? I have an unopened 30-pack of Busch Light apple in my garage fridge that I'm thinking about selling on Facebook. Just kidding. You didn't see me wink. And then those are stuffed animals with candy in them, which are, a little different. And then the Bon Viv, that is $12.99 for a 24-pack. Wow, that's a good deal. Usually it's like $25, Chris says. So that's spiked seltzer. Hey, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but spiked seltzers are popular. Every single company has their own spiked seltzer. So that's a good deal on that. $12.99 for a 24-pack. And there it is right there in the truckload liquor sale, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, Chad, I guess we can look at this. So we'll start with the wine and spirits deals. Outside starting tomorrow. Okay, so this is one day early. We're showing you what's going to be there. Look at the Platinum Vodka. That is a heck of a deal. $5 for the Platinum Vodka with the purchase of 4 bottles. So that stuff is very good. I can tell you I've had that before. And at $5 a bottle, that is redonkulous. You got to buy 4 of them. You can see a good price on Captain Morgan. You can see the Svedka vodka at a great price with a fuel saver. Michelob Ultra 18-pack bottles are going to be in there. You've got Fireball, 1.75 liter, the big bottle. And again, these deals will be outside under the tent. Brad, maybe we can whip around and get the tent. And Chad, we can keep that on the screen. From Jim Beam to Bon Viv to Barton's Vodka, Bud Light Seltzer, Altos, Olmeca, Tequila, Blue Moon, Jack Daniels, those deals and more. That is awesome. Okay, so that starts tomorrow outside, rain or shine in the tent. There you go for the truckload liquor sale. And you can see that ad on the back page of the Discover Muscatine newspaper. Thanks, Bob. You're marvelous. Is this for me? Thank you, Bob. Bob West, everybody. Thank you, sir. That is a very nice gesture. Bob said he keeps hearing the Halloween commercial for Halloween candy. I will not share any of this, Bob. Or should I share? Bob's saying don't worry about it. I love Snickers, man. Those are right up my alley. Thank you, Bob. Good man right there. Cool name, too. Bob West. Any relation to Adam West? Does Bob have shark repellent spray like Adam West Batman did back in the day? All right, so we go back to that ad. It's got the truckload liquor sale, and then it's got even more deals at the top. So, again, these prices ready to go starting today, and then the liquor sale starts tomorrow. So you can see we're doing some compare against Fairway, and you can see the Hy-Vee price versus the Fairway price on things like Hy-Vee cottage cheese and salad dressing. That Smart Sugar is in there. Clorox. We've got Red Delicious apples. How about some Bud 24 packs? Some celery. Brad, I can tell you that Bob would not be thrilled about getting his dog on camera. Just so you know, I know that guy. He's a good guy, but he's a little feisty. Captain Crunch, I'll tell you a story after the show. Captain Crunch cereal, macaroni and cheese, Hy-Vee vegetable oil, our prices versus Schmerway. That's at the top of the ad, truckload sale. Right below it at the bottom. So the truckload sale in our parking lot, and then inside Wine and Spirits in downtown Muscatine, across from Hy-Vee Main Street. Okay, everybody. Let's do this. Let's remind you that it's Wellness Wednesday. All day long, 10% off. Health Market, vitamins, health and beauty care products, and 10% off organic produce. Interesting. Okay. Those are the deals happening, ready to go, get you taken care of at your Muscatine Hy-Vee on Wellness Wednesday. Interesting note I just got. Have to see what that's all about. So we got Wellness Wednesday, the September donut of the month. Have you tried it yet? Will you take my word that it's good? It is like, listen, when we tried the donut of the month last week, it was probably 80 degrees. Today, the high is what, 59 is the high today. I don't want to say fall's here because we'll probably see another stretch of warm days. But if you're okay with thinking about fall, then get over to the store, go to the bakery, and get that donut of the month, that caramel apple. Oh, it's good stuff. So go to the bakery. They'll get you taken care of. It's a mouthful. So, in moderation, enjoy that. But yeah, you'll just dig it. You'll dig it. And I don't think I even emailed it this morning. Let me see if I can pull it up in the old air. Oh, there it is. I got it right here. Let me airdrop this over. I was running late. Oh, there it is. Chad has it. Never mind. Disregard. Caramel apple cobbler. Ooh. It's like, who's the wise guy or wise girl that was like, you know what we should do with the donut of the month is put apple pie filling in it. Like that's something that like it's like an idea I would have had in college. Hear me out. What if we take this apple pie filling and put it in the middle of a donut? Give that man a raise. That's what it is. It's like apple pie filling inside of a donut. It's really good. Check that out. We've got hot deals on the front page of the Hy-Vee ad that start today because it is Wednesday. Okay, so you can find the Hy-Vee ad inside your Discover Muscatine newspaper. And you can see on the front page, we've got some chicken. We've got, what do we have? Hy-Vee Angus Reserve Boneless Beef New York Strip Steak. Oh, my. You've got blueberries in the mix. Nabisco, Belvita, Family Size Chips Ahoy, Oreo, Breyers Ice Cream. $2.59 for ice cream. That is very cheap. Frito-Lay, Doritos, or Rolled Gold are there for $1.88. And then you've got some Coca-Cola products, 4 for $10 on the front page of the Hy-Vee ad. Check that out. So, we talked to Jenny Olson, DNP with Unity Point Health. She's probably recommending, for her patients, start thinking about getting a flu shot. Here at Hy-Vee, you can get a flu shot inside the store. You can get a flu shot in your car. That is new this year with drive-through flu shots. Either way, whether you walk into the store or get it in your vehicle, 20-cent fuel saver for you with the flu shot. I might get one, I don't know, today or tomorrow. We'll see. And it's like, I got to get the fuel saver. I looked at my fuel saver. I got nothing on it. That's like the first time I haven't had anything on the fuel saver. So I need to get the flu shot. Whether it's in your car or in the store, get it, 20-cent fuel saver. And then if you're over 50 years of age, you should have the conversation about the shingles shot. It's the Shingrix vaccine. So for shingles, you don't have to worry about it anymore because they created a vaccine. It's available on a walk-in basis, no appointment necessary. If you are 50 years or older, get it. Don't have to think about dealing with shingles. They'll get you taken care of at the pharmacy anytime that they're open. You can get the shingle shot because we still have them. That's for sure. All right, the last thing I'll say is online groceries. Save time. It's rainy. It's cold. If you're like just over it and you don't want to come into the store, you can have your groceries delivered. You can pick them up. We have same-day groceries available for today. I will prove this to you by going to my Aisles Online app on my phone, and I'll show you where you could still get orders in for today. So let me pull this up. I think I got some hairy spider on my phone. I just had to wipe it off. So let me go to my cart, check out, pick up this store, and excuse me, here we go. Here is what is available with Aisles Online. So if I needed my order quickly, I could spend $10 to make it an express order. If not, I could put in an order and pick it up between 2 and 3 or later in the day. Check that out right there. That's same-day groceries for you. And I like how it shows you. So if I wanted to get an order between 4 and 5 today, I would need to place it by noon. So it'll kind of really walk you through, here's what you need to do time-wise to get your order in for today. Okay. With that being said, I think we'll wrap up. I mentioned everything that's here, right? Okay. Just looking around. All right, very good. So I'm doing a bad job of remembering who's on the show. Cheryl Plank is here tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to pull up my guest list here. Hang on one second. Hold the phone, everybody. So Cheryl Plank will be here with Vision 2020 on tomorrow's show at 8:30 in the morning. Cheryl Plank is the CEO with Vision 2020. And then on Friday, September 11th, kind of a spectacular lineup at 8:30. We'll talk to Lieutenant Greg Bach with the Salvation Army. We'll talk to Scott Dulkey, the boss at MCSA, and we'll talk to Charla Schaefer with the Community Foundation. So we're going to go bing, 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 and me, but those three at the same time. How long will that conversation go on? I don't know. We could be looking at a 3-hour tour on Friday. I've never had Lieutenant Bach, Scott Dulkey, and Charla on at the same time. I know it'll be great. They're good people. And then we have some news we'll share on Friday morning as well. So with that being said, thank you to Jenny Olson, who is here with Unity Point Health, DNP. doctor, nurse practitioner. She's accepting new patients. She sees folks from the age of birth to 18 years of age here in town, and she does a fantastic job. Reach out to Jenny if you're looking for a PCP for someone in your life that is a newborn to 18 years of age. She'll get you taken care of. All right, thanks to CBI Bank and Trust. I don't know why I have an accent all of a sudden, but wouldn't it be better if CBI ads had an accent? Bob, what do you think? Welcome. Maybe Bob Howard needs an accent. Hello, I'm Bob Howard with CBI Bank and Trust. We'd love all your money to put into an account. I saw that CBI Bank and Trust, my friend Lisa, who runs their Wilton location, presented a check to Wilton Schools. So that was awesome. So shout out to CBI Bank and Trust. CBI Bank and Trust also has a very nice, what is it called? Capstone at the Muscatine County Freedom Rock. So that's really cool. They sponsored one of those just like Hy-Vee did. So thanks to CBI Bank and Trust, Toyota of Muscatine, and Lutheran Living Senior Campus. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow live at 8:30 right here. And don't forget, if you need an umbrella, we've got it. I don't know if I would necessarily need an adult raincoat poncho, but maybe not the worst thing to have in the car. So have a good rest of your day or good evening. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone.
Be very, very quiet while hunting wabbits.
We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community.
I'm trying to emote for the play that the alumni are putting on in Wilton.
Yeah,
This
man.
Friday, Saturday.
Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, hyveetoday@gmail.com.